Hey ladies, welcome to the Single Moms United podcast. If this is your first time visiting, welcome. If you are a repeat listener, thank you for your loyalty. Today's topic is a little depressing, so if you're trying to be upbeat and happy, this is probably not the episode for you because today I want to talk about death. In the past, in my prior episodes, this podcast is designed to encourage and motivate single mothers, but it's also designed for critical thinking, how to educate your children about certain topics. I recently found out some news that I wasn't technically prepared for, but it involves death. How do you talk to your children about death? How do you feel when someone that's extremely close to you loses their life, right? Or they die. Let's just call it what it is. They die. And how do you feel about that? How do you cope with that? Your children are going to have to go through that experience as well. And they're going to go through those emotions that are very difficult. I think the loss of a loved one is more impactful or has a more significant change in behavior. This person's not coming back. They're gone forever. So how do you teach your children about death? What do you tell them? Again, coping skills is critical when it comes to death, because there is an emptiness that occurs based on your relationship with that person. And now that they're gone, who do you talk to? Who gives you that hug? Who motivates you? And so a lot of people have difficult times dealing with death, knowing that it's coming, but I don't think they believe it. That's what that's just my personal opinion. I think that people just don't believe it's actually going to happen. That's why they're always shocked and so forth and not prepared for it. Because if they were prepared for it, then we would do things differently as it relates to engaging with our loved ones, right? Death is real. It's real. People are dying every day, every minute, every second. And I remember my pastor from years ago, he would say, there's just as many young graves as there are old graves. So death doesn't discriminate, right? It's not based on culture. It's not based on age. It's not based on race. It's not based on gender. Death is going to happen. Again, I try to put together a poem. Part of it is for me, for the grieving that I'm feeling right now due to the loss of a loved one. And then part of it is for you, Mom, in hopes that you'll find something in what is being said to help you educate your child about death. It's a reality, and you don't have to get deep in the weeds with it, depending on their age. At some point, you need to educate. They have grandparents or someone that is sickly. That would be the time to introduce it and have that conversation with them. Don't let your child go in and just see the body in the casket and they didn't get to say goodbye to grandma or grandpa or uncle or auntie. Set them up for this emotional upheaval. Because again, if they're very close to them, you would definitely want to educate them about death and what it means. Don't wait until the actual death occurs. And especially if you know they're sickly, take the opportunity and have that conversation. Have that conversation because it's going to pay off in the end. Because when they have their children, and it's time to have that conversation, they're going to reflect back on how you shared with them about death, right? Because we're paying it forward. That's what we're doing. We're paying it forward so that They know how to have that conversation. And remember, I talked about generational curses, but here's another generational opportunity is talk to your children. Make sure they know that this is a part of life. And that's why they need to embrace their loved ones. Embrace you, right? Because one day you and me, we got to get out of here, or we are going to get out of here. It doesn't matter our status or where we are in life. We are going to get out of here. And my hope is we take this opportunity, educate our children or your children about death and what it means. This is a long life for most of us that have to live, and hopefully your kids will live a very long life, but they need to understand what death is. So, again, I put together my two brain cells and said, hey, let me come up with something to share as it relates to poetry around death. All right, so here we go. When it comes to death, we all need to take a deep breath. Life has revealed death is real. Some die from violence, while others die in silence. Regardless of the method of death, it is sure to display our emotions in a sensitive way. When we lose someone we love, we can't help but cry and ask God why. We look for comfort everywhere, but can't find it anywhere. Yes, our hearts will hurt, but there is relief in grief. As a result, we need to teach our children it's not always about making a dime, but spending family time. Teach them to appreciate life, value those that matter, and not focus on unnecessary chatter. Again, death is guaranteed. We have to embrace those emotions that make our hearts bleed. Take advantage of the good times and the bad ones too, because soon they'll become memories of how much they loved you. Death is inevitable. We all will perish. So take this time and remind your loved ones how much they are cherished. It only takes a moment to wonder where time went. You look up, yeah, and they are gone in an instant. Live, love, and hug. Yes, death makes our heart emotionally vulnerable, but it reminds us to make life memorable. Once they are gone, it's a fact. They're never coming back. Once the casket is lowered in the ground, continue to enjoy life as much as you can, because sorrow will always be around. Now, know the ground is not the final destination. Think of their soul as rejuvenation. From earth to glory is their new story. Pay attention and know all is well. No more sickness, no more pain. It's heavenly wings they have gained. Don't let death rearrange your heart. Remember the significance of your loved one and the value they brought. All right, ladies. This isn't as motivating as prior episodes, but hopefully it will allow you to think. A good mom, she's teaching her children. She's teaching her children about life, life's challenges, life's obstacles, and the reality of life. And the reality is eventually it comes to an end. That's the reality. So, mom, no, don't instantly go out and have that conversation about death with your child. Know how to blend it into a discussion that makes it appropriate. it makes more sense to your child what you're talking about and why it's important to have that conversation around someone dying. I hope that your family is intact. So, ladies, thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode. And I don't want to use the word encouraged, but if you found value and you think someone else that's currently grieving episode, then definitely share that with them. And especially with the mom that may be dealing with death of someone and not sure how to approach it with their child. And there's many resources available for you moms to teach about death and how to introduce it to your child. It shouldn't just be grandma and grandpa have gone on to a next level, right? They're in the sky with Uncle so and that it should be a little more than just they gain their wings. That's just my opinion. All right, ladies, I am done for the day. I hope you found some value in this episode. You all have a fantastic day and a great week. Take care.